Good morning. I'm very happy to speak to you on this Wednesday, October the 22nd, the feast of the great Pope John Paul II, who told us not to be afraid and to open our hearts to the work of Christ, open the doors of our hearts to the work of Christ. And this means recognizing with humility and confidence a beautiful truth. Not only does God have a plan, but you and I are part of the plan. We are active members of it. And that's the way God loves, is that He includes and activates all the gifts that we have. Now, on All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, coming up next week, November 1st and 2nd, we have the singular joy of recognizing how we are made neighbors in this plan of God. That we are neighbors by receiving prayer, and we are neighbors by offering prayer. On All Saints' Day, we recognize that St. John Paul and all of his heavenly companions are praying for us. God has given us to them as neighbors to pray for, that we may come to the place where they are. And on All Souls' Day, we recognize that we too have been given neighbors to pray for, and those are the faithful departed, those who cannot act for themselves, but can rely on the prayers that we offer. And so God has framed the whole church in a beautiful work of interdependence that crosses the boundary of death itself. This is a neighborliness that we see beautifully visible in the common life of our parish. But it is a sign, what we see is a sign of an invisible life that is no less real. So on these 2 days, we get in touch with this truth. So let me take you through our celebration of All Saints and All Souls this year. On All Saints' Day, Saturday, November 1st, we'll have a solemn Mass at 8:30 in the morning, our usual Saturday morning time for Mass, and we'll follow it with a parish potluck. There's a sign up for that in the bulletin. Please jump in. And there'll be things to do for the kids. There'll be a whole family event. Then, beginning Saturday evening, after the Vigil Mass, we will have adoration of the Blessed Sacrament through the night as a way to intercede for our beloved dead during the commemoration of All Souls. And there will be prayer through the night in common and individually. Then, during the day on All Souls' Day, that's Sunday the 2nd, we will have an ongoing rosary in the columbarium beneath the Priory Chapel. And there'll be sign-ups for adoration Saturday night and Sunday morning, and then rosary during the day on Sunday itself. So please check the bulletin for all of those things. Then on All Souls' Day itself, Father Hyacinth Grubb, our retreat master, will be preaching all the Masses and inviting us to continue this work of All Saints and All Souls, and to recognize that part of our living in God's plan is to prepare for the fact of our death. And that this preparation focuses our life now, not with fear, but with confidence. And so the retreat master writes to us here, like any journey, passing from this world to the next ought to be well prepared. It is never too early or too late to begin your preparation. And anticipating that final journey will change your life now for the better. As the psalmist prays, teach us to number our days, that we may gain wisdom of heart. It will give you perspective will guide your choices, will make patience and forgiveness easier, will add depth and meaning to otherwise mundane activities, and will give you wisdom and peace. This is a call to truly mindful living. You and I are invited to be aware of how it is that God has gathered us into the mystery of the church, so that by caring for and receiving care from others, you and I would be completed in ourselves. Please join in this beautiful 5-day marathon of activity and come out the other side, I think, a more well-formed Catholic and a happier one. Thank you for listening. We'll be following through on this all through the week.